What's going on, YouTube? This is TR Bailey 823 here, coming at you guys with the deck profile of the deck that I used to win the League Challenge in Sandusky, Ohio yesterday. And so I played in the Cup originally, of course, and things went not as well as I would have liked. Got kind of unlucky a few times. It was beyond crazy. It's actually one of the most unlucky tournaments I've ever had. That I can recall in any card game, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, whatever, where I was set up to win every game that I lost. I should have won every game that I lost. Pokemon can be really weird like that sometimes. But anyways, I redeemed myself, made a night out of it, stayed and traded, had a good time. Of course, you've seen some of the profiles I put up for some decks that were played. But anyway, here's what I played at the League Cup, and I went 5-0 and undefeated. So I played the Zoroark Weavile deck. See, when I played this at Collinville, I really thought I was being unique and stuff because I didn't see anybody else doing it. I don't try to be unique. I want to play a deck that's good, but Pokemon can be like that sometimes. So I play 4 of the Moonless Madness Zorua because I play Dark Energy, so that's the better Zorua. And then I play 3 Zoroark GX, and then the Mind Jack Zoroark, and then a Zoroark Break, which is a really, really, really good card. And then for the Weavile stuff, I discovered that a 2-2 just makes the most sense. I was playing 1-1, I was playing 2-1, tried a whole bunch of different ways. This way just makes the most sense. The card's very good. And what happens is in the matchups that you want it in, people will target it, or you'll bring it up, it only has 90 hit points, so it gets KO'd, and then you want it again next turn. So I just realized that it just made more sense to play the 2-2 line. And that's worked out really well for me. I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't go down at all, that's for sure. And then for the last 3 Pokemon, I play 2 Tapu Lele GX. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And then I play 1 Mew EX. Card's really good against Buzzwole. I actually really like to play against Buzzwole with this deck because of how the matchup ends up playing out, which I'll get into a little bit more later. And then on to the trainer cards. I play 4 Puzzle a time because that's the amount of Puzzle a time you're supposed to play. That card is just obscene. And then here's what people are going to be like, E-Scrib, Ford, but I play 3 Ultra Ball. This card is actually just atrocious in this deck. If it wasn't so important to get turn 1 Bridget, I would almost consider not playing this card. I know that sounds crazy, but this card literally sucks. It really does. Like, you're trading 3 cards for 1, and then you're discarding another card, because you're probably getting a Zoroark GX to draw 2 more cards. So in other words, you're using an Ultra Ball, 2 cards you discarded, and a card you discarded. So that's 4 cards in order to get 2 cards. And then, you know, sometimes it's appropriate to get it. And then, but the other thing that's big is, like, there's a lot of cards in this deck that you don't want to discard. So you end up in a weird situation where Ultra Ball is just an awkward card. So long story short, I play 3 Ultra Ball instead of 4 because just, like I said, it's just not that great in this deck. I mean, I've played Pokemon a while. I love Ultra Ball. It's a very good card in a lot of decks. Just really weird in this one. And then a card that's much better than Ultra Ball in this deck, Evo Soda. Evo Soda lets you, I play 3 of them. It lets you pick up your young Zoroarks and Weaviles from the deck and put them in play. Very good card. And then I play 3 copies of Field Blower. I don't play any stadiums in this deck. It's really hard to figure out which stadium I want to play. There's a Darkness one that gives you an extra 10 hit points. It's normally not a huge deal, but it can matter. And then you also have, like, moments where, like, you might want, like, I don't know, maybe a parallel. But overall, I just went with the 3 Field Blower option because people like to play the Espeon Garb deck or other Garb decks, so I just figured that it's easy. As long as you have this card Garbodor decks don't do anything because those decks are awful. But Garbodor is insane, so you need these cards. Answer Garb, do your thing, and then don't let it affect you negatively. It's unfortunate because that card's not good in most matchups, but it's that important against a Garb. I would love to play 0 of it, but Pokemon made Garb, so there we are on that. And then I play 2 Stretcher. Rescue Stretcher is very good in this deck. Another card that's better than Ultra Ball, which is so funny. But Rescue Stretcher is great. Sometimes you almost wish you could play 3 or 4. There's really not room for that, and it is awkward at the beginning of the game, so it's not a card that you want to have all the time. But Rescue Stretcher is great. Lets you grab the Mew that got beat. Lets you pick up a whole line of Zoroarks. Obviously, there's only one Zoroark break and one Mind Jack Zoroark, so being able to get those back and recycle them is important, and that's why this card's obviously just very solid in this particular type of deck. And then for the tools, I play 2 Choice Band. You don't often have to hit numbers with a band, but when you do, you want to still have the option. Then I play 2 Float Stones. Once again, most of the time, as the game progresses, you'll be able to stand in and do things like that. A lot of times, you'd rather have the band than have this. But with that being said, I went ahead and went this particular route because 2 is enough. You just need it in spot situations. You have puzzles if you really got to get it back. But for the most part, tools just aren't that necessary in this particular deck. This card's the better one because it helps your Zoroark break or your Zoroark hit for 190. Let Zoroark break copy Buzzwall's second attack to do 190. So most of the time, this is not that great. And then also another thing is, besides Gardevoir, this really doesn't help you 2-shot anything with the other Zoroark. So it's very rare that I'll need that on that card. And then I forgot. I said here's the tools, but there's actually one card that's not a tool. I play 1 Nest Ball. Ball is normal. This card's normally better than Ultra Ball as well. It just can't grab Lele, at least the way we want to. 4 Cynthia for supporter. We're starting the supporters out. Card's insanely strong. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. You don't often want to discard things, so this is the lower count in the deck than the Sycamores. But next we play 3 copies of Brigetti. So we try to get Mom Spaghetti to start the game. That's how we try to do things. Then I play 3 copy of Guzma. I was playing 2. 3's necessary because sometimes you have to discard it off of a trade, or you draw too many of them, so you have to reset your hand, do different things. It's easier when I play 3. It was much easier to deal with problems when I played 3 over the 2. It's definitely a must. And then Professor Sycamore at 2. Even though I'm not a big fan of discarding things, this does come up from time to time. And I wanted to have the option of first to have Lele to just grab it, and then I realized that a lot of times how this deck works is your first turn you'll bridge it, and then you'll have an Evosoda and maybe a Zoroark. You put those guys in play, and then you'll Sycamore the rest of your hand. Your rest of your hand may be nothing at that point, or it may be oh shoot, I discarded a Dark Energy or something like that. So at the beginning of the game there, this card's clutch because then all of a sudden, if you evolved into 2 Zoroarks and you're doing that, then you're getting 11 fresh cards out of the deck. So it turned out to be just that card was just insane. I definitely wouldn't cut it. I play 1 copy of N, which is weird. A lot of people play 2 or 3 N in these type of decks, but I'm winning a lot. And it's just weird because when I'm ahead, I really don't want to N. I often find myself inning really late game if my opponent's making a bit of a comeback, or if B, it's the beginning of the game, I'd rather N than Cynthia sometimes because how the math will end up working out. But anyway, I could play 2. I could cut a Sycamore for it, and I don't feel like it would make much difference either way. But yeah, I was comfortable with the number 1. I could play 2 though. It's a decent card. And then I play a really bad card, Captain Cuck, Professor Kukui. That's why I dub him Captain Cuck. But this card's okay. But it's for the extra 20 damage. So a lot of times when you play decks, or you play against, there's a lot of decks that have 210. So Like Silvally GX is a great example. And Silvally is one of the worst matchups for this particular deck. But they have 5 on the bench, and they bring him up, and you can set up Mind Jack. You can Mind Jack them. If you have a band in this, we'll do 210, so that's important. Another number that it hits occasionally that might matter is if they put a Lele in their active, which basically never happens. Then if you have a band with a Zoroark GX and it hits it for a knockout, that hasn't happened yet because I don't think it should. I don't think that's supposed to happen, but you know, it's in there just in case. Mostly it's for that 210 number though. That has happened a couple of times, and it's important in that sense. And then the rest of the deck is just energy cards. So I play 4 DCE, and then I play 6 copies of Dark Energy. I felt good about the number 6. First of all, it's Baker Mayfield's number. But no, really, though, I was playing 7, and I think 7 is a better number than 6 for the Dark Energy. The problem is like you got to be able to fit other cards in the deck that you really need to play. Captain Cuck's Necessary. As bad as it is overall, it's a necessary card. I had to play Triple Guzma. I had to play Triple Float, or not Triple Floatstone, Triple Field Blower. So, like, in the end, like, I had to cut something, and the Dark Energy made the most sense. I didn't have a problem getting to it, so it didn't make much of a difference, if any. But I do think if I could play more, I would probably play more. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. Please like the comment, subscribe for more content. I'm going to be doing a ton of these videos, man. Like, I'm telling you, like a ton. I'm going to start trying to do 1 or 2 videos a day. It's kind of tough. I've got a 1-year-old, well, almost 1. His birthday's on Sunday. So my life is a little busy, but I am trying to make it work to where I can do multiple videos a day. So keep updated. There will eventually be a moment where I'm finally able to do it. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like I said, like and subscribe. I really appreciate it.